Okay, so we should start with Namo Tassa. Okay, put the hand together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, we already start with the Dhammanupassana with the uh, seven Bojjhanga factors. So we have finished the Sati, mindfulness, Dhamma Vijaya, investigation of Dhamma. Then after what else? Viriya, effort. Okay. So these three are considered in a in some of the sutta mentioned them as the active one because sati you need to always have sati, and Dhamma Vijaya is also kind of like investigation of Dhamma or is actually kind of wisdom. So we also need to have a active things for it all the time. And then Viriya is also effort. All right. Now, so we can say these three are kind of like cause. All right. So we just before go inside the sutta, so we can look at this. All right. So these three, Sati, Dhamma Vijaya, Viriya. Right. So these three are considered in a way is they are the cause because and in a way we also say that they are kind of like active portion because we need to make this as much as we can. All right. And these four are considered as effect. Because without mindfulness, without Dhamma Vijaya, which is the wisdom, or without the Viriya, you cannot have this joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. So actually, any meditator, we should focus more on mindfulness, Dhamma Vijaya, wisdom, and Viriya. All right. And then these are actually not to say they are active, but they are actually we also should develop them, but they are considered as not so how to call it, because in terms of we call it five faculties. I hope you all still remember five faculties. We have five. One is faith, sada, then sada, viriya, sati, samadhi, and uh panya. All right. So if you look at the five faculty, panya is same with the okay. So this is the viriya. So this is the panya. Okay. And this is a sati, mindfulness. So in terms of seven bojjhanga, so the wisdom is here, yes, and then the mindfulness is here, and virya is here. So these three are considered more important because after we build this, then we can have the piti, pasadi, and samadhi. Even though samadhi is inside of the five faculties, but it's considered as the later part of the seven bojjhanga. Okay. So now uh let me start with the reading. Okay, now we go for the original text first. So okay, so in my documentation, in my document I already put the text there. So basically you can see all this sutranet, and the commentary is the next one, so you just copy and you can see this one. All right, another one is a commentary. Okay, so we look at the this original text. So we have finished this one and we are on the uh okay, now feeling we already finished. Chittanupasana we already finished. So we are on the Dhammanupasana. Hindrances we already gone through. Aggregates finished, and then factors already finished, and then this under the Bojjhanga. Okay. So first is a mindfulness. Second is a Dhamma Vijaya. Third one will be, okay, right, and so on. Okay. After that will be Dhammanupassana. So when we look at the Pali, actually it didn't mention about how to practice or how to improve it. So the commentary actually give lots of very good information. So we are on this joy today. All right. Today, because this is the last class, so we will just look at the section that is more important. All right. Okay. This one. This one will be important here. 11 factors, 11 things lead to the arising of the enlightenment factor of joy. Creation of the Buddha, creation of Dhamma, creation of Sangha. So this is actually we're talking about triple gem. Because for any Buddhist, or even if somebody not to say they are call themselves Buddhist, but at least they should believe the Buddha is the greatest teacher. The Buddha can give a very good guidance. Dhamma is the teaching of the Buddha that is actually we call it the truth, the nature of life, and Sangha is the disciple of the Buddha that continue the message of the Buddha, continue to share the message of Buddha to the world. And this is the sila, your own morality. The liberality is your own generosity. Now, dewa, okay? Dewa, we are here even though I think last time I share about the Visumaga. Here Dewa is not just think about Dewa, it think about the qualities in the Dewa, like why they become Dewa. Because they have a morality, they have generosity, and so on. That's why they are born in Dewa. We are also thinking that we have that qualities in us, and that's the meaning here. And translation here is very nice, shining ones, all right? And the quality of peace is more on the nature of the nibbana. Okay, so this is the we call it, you can see here I already copied to my text. So later I'll share the document you all. Okay, so these are 11 qualities. So this is in short, this is called Buddha Dhamma Sangha Triple Gem. So up to here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally we say this is a six kind of anusati, right? But if you can earn this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all right? So this is we call it seven. In Pali we call it anusati. Sometimes we use the word recollection or reflection. It's actually when we think about that, here is how we change the mind, instead of thinking about bad things or unhappy things or things that make us depressed. We think about positive things, having the good object of the Buddha, the Dhamma Sangha, or morality, and then this is more or generosity. Okay, so this is so far is still on the kind of like we call it uh good thoughts, all right? So it's very important for us to fill our mind with good thoughts. Because if we don't know how to change our mind, then we always uh, be influenced by bad things or bad thoughts. Okay, so it's very important to change the mind. So by always have good thoughts, then you have joy in you. Okay, and this consider things that we can do for ourselves. But we also need some good environment. Okay, because if we are staying with people who are depressed or who are or have bad behavior, so they will influence our mind. And we need to associate with good people, especially those who are always happy, always joyful, and who are delighted in doing good deeds. All right. So this is actually in Abhidhamma. You all learn already the Patana. So this is actually we call it the Upanisaya, Pachaya. Okay. Strong dependent conditions. And then also now you are listening to Dhamma talk like this. So thinking about when you listen to Dhamma talk or any teaching of the Buddha, when you have those Dhamma talk give you faith, give you confidence, then you have joy. All right, so that's important also. So that's we call it Sutta Maya, Jnana, all right? So you will get the knowledge, we call it learn knowledge. This means that sometimes we call it acquire knowledge, right? When you get the knowledge, from there you have a right thinking, then you can get joy. So you have right thought, then you can get joy. All right. Another one also important, inclination towards joy. Right. It's like how we fine tune our mind. Because they are in the world, there are some people who enjoy being sad, enjoy depression. It's true, because we meet all sort of people. But there are some people who enjoy to live with the light. So that's our inclination of the mind. Okay. Okay. This part, I will invite some people to read. Sister Pueliu, are you here? Okay. All right, then, Brother King, can you read this one?
All right.
Yes.
By recollection of the Buddha's qualities, of the qualities of the Dharma and of the Sangha, joy arises. Joy arises also for one who having kept the precepts of fourfold purity, unbroken for a long time, reflects on one's virtue. To laymen who reflect on their virtue through observing the 10 and 5 and the 5 precepts. To one reflecting on liberty and recollecting on one's gift of excellent food to one's fellows in the holy life during a time of scarcity and the like. To laymen recollecting their liberty in giving alms to virtuous folk. To one reflecting on one's possession of qualities by which beings have reached the state of shining ones, devas, to one reflecting thus by way of peace. The passions suppressed by the higher attainments do not occur for 60 or 70 years. The avoiding of bad people is the keeping away from rough people who are like dirt on a moose back, who show a callous nature through irreverence owing to the lack of faith-inspired affection for the Buddha and the like. In worshipping shrines or elders, good people are those who have much faith in the Buddha and the like, and are gentle of mind. Discourses which illumine the qualities of and inspire confidence in the Triple Gem are discourses inspiring confidence. The inclination towards joy refers to the mind sloping towards this enlightenment factor in all postures of sitting and the like. The completion by culture of this enlightenment factor is through the path of awakening.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Brother King. All right. Now, okay, so we have gone through this one. That's the joy. All right. So far when you read, it's still talking about how do we change the mind, by thinking about good things, reflecting on this and that, especially Buddha Dhamma Sangha, morality and on generosity, liberality. Okay, the next one is tranquility. Here, translate the word is calm. Now, when you see this, there's a piti, there's a pasadi. But when we say about jhana factors, you all remember we have vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. All right. Now, vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. So if we can compare it, right, jhana factor, we have vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Now, with Vitaka and Vichara, you all know it's kind of like thoughts, right? So we got initial application, then this is a sustained application. PT is here. This is a PT here. So it's joy here. And is the Sukha is not mentioned here. Ekagata is actually same with the Samadhi. Right? So This is same with concentration. So in this case, why is it the sukha not here? Because we can take it the sukha and pasadi. Maybe it's quite nature because sukha is quiet and happy. Sometimes we translate the word sukha as a happiness. Sometimes we translate as a very kind of like peaceful mind. Because when the mind is very happy, it become more calm and peaceful, right? So we can take it the sukha is quite same nature with this pasadi. That makes sense. Because if not, when we compare the jhana factors, we cannot find the we cannot find the sukha here, but we have the pasadi here. So we have piti, samadhi. Here also piti and samadhi. Ekagata is samadhi here. Then the pasadi should be same with sukha. All right. Now, so we read about the pasadi. Okay, so I already copied the text. There are 7 things that lead to the arising of the enlightenment factor of calm, which is the pasadi, resulting of to find food, comfortable weather and comfortable postures, judgment according to middle way, avoiding of people who are physically restless, associating with people who are physically calm, and the inclination towards the development of the enlightenment factor of calm. Okay, so let's look at the text. Okay, now this calm, right, this calm pasadi refer to body. But this body is not the Pali word rupa or kaya. Sometimes it does not mean the physical body, but it actually means a collection of feeling, perception, and this should be the sankhara, all right? And also mind. Mind means is the vijnana. And abundance of right reflection. So we see this word before many times in the sati also in the viriya. So it's always talking about when we come to it, 7 bojjhanga is always talking about how we reflect lightly, all right, on the things that conducive to the arising or non-arising enlightenment factor of calm, and for the increased expansion completion by the culture means bhavana, development of this enlightenment factor when it has arisen, all right. So these 7 factors I mentioned just now. Okay, so it's good to read this one. Thomas, can you read this one? Okay, sorry. All right. Thomas, sorry, you are not mute yet.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The resorting to find food is the resorting to excellent, beneficial food that is suitable to one. The resorting to comfortable weather and postures means the resorting to weather and postures suitable to one. By resorting to this threefold suitability, well-being of mind comes into existence by way of the basis of bodily well-being, and there proceeds then the reason for twofold calm. Judgment, according to the middle way, is reflection to one's own deed as one's own property, and another's deed as that of others' property. This is the judgment of things based on the acknowledgement of the law of moral causation, avoiding first the extreme view that the suffering and happiness experienced by living beings are causeless, and then the other extreme view of ascribing these to a fictive cause like that of a creator God, and the knowing of all suffering and happening as one's own action. But he who has the nature of a great man is patient to all kinds of weather and postures. Not concerning such a person has the above been said. The avoiding of people who are physically restless is the keeping away from restless people who go about harassing others with cloth and stick. People who are physically calm are those who are quiet because they are restrained on hand and foot. The inclination towards the development of this enlightenment factor is the inclining, sloping, and bending of the mind towards calm in all postures. By the Arahant's path, the completion by culture of this enlightenment factor takes place.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Okay, so see the text, all right? Okay, first one, find food, comfortable weather, and postures. All right, so these three are, we call it our, these two are environment. In a way, also in environment, right? So weather is environment. Okay, so if we have good weather, good food, is our environment. Now, posture is more on our, how you call it? Posture is just posture. Like, let's say if you are meditating, maybe sitting posture is more suitable for you, or standing posture, or lying posture. All right. So, walking. Choose one posture that's suitable for you, because some people they feel that they get more insight, by or they are more calm when they are walking, because when they sit down they feel they are not comfortable, or some people they feel that they don't feel rightly if they walk a lot, so they prefer sitting. So choose any posture that's suitable for you, as long as it can lead to like joy, calmness, right? Weather is very easy. So if the weather is too hot, it's not suitable. Too cold, also not suitable. Maybe too noisy, also not suitable. So we should choose environment that's suitable for our practice. Now this one, judgment according to middle way. So just now the text mentioned here, right? So this is talking about Kammasaka, right? So this is a very long sentence, but it's actually in Pali, we can just put the word, we call it Kammasaka. Means that karma is our own property, right? That's one way. So we reflect that we come by our karma, we go according to karma. Whatever we do, good or bad, we have to experience it, right? That's another one. So another one is also this is the one that moral causation is like also karma. Also avoiding there are two views here. One view is these are two extreme. One is called causeless. Another one is a fixed. This one, all right. So normally people have two view. So avoiding two extreme views. One is causeless. So in Pali it go ahetuka. You know the word hetu is a cause. And another one is this one. This one is means that this one is kind of like the first view is believe that there's no cause. No cause of things, like everything is just happen by itself. There's no cause and effect. Second thing is believe that there are some certain cause like God or like Brahma or whatever that control the life. The cause is fixed. All right. So these are supposed to be avoided, and just remember Kammasaka. All right. So karma is on a property and on refuge and so on. Okay. And on inheritance, there are a series of sentence here, but it just say you do good, you experience good, you do bad, experience bad. All right. Okay, so this is called middle way, as avoiding the two extreme here. All right. Normally in the Buddhist text, middle way always refer to Eightfold Path, but here mention this view. So it's actually quite interesting to read commentary, because the commentator they will explain the middle way in this way also. All right. So yeah, this is also how we should associate with the right people. So if you want to have calmness, so you should follow people who are more calm, who are more restrained, right? And also the last one is also important. Always incline your mind towards calmness, towards the pasadi. I think this is easy to understand, all right? So let's go for samadhi. Okay, it's important to see the definition of this samadhi. Okay, I think I asked one student to read here to here. Melinda, can you read this one? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Saji. Concentration. There is the sign of quietude and the sign of non-confusion, and an abundance of right reflection on this is the reason conducive to the arising of the non-arising enlightenment factor of concentration, and for the increased expansion and completion by culture of the enlightenment factor of concentration when it has arisen. The first stage of tranquility, which arises when an object is being grasped by way of bearing it in mind, the composed manner, it is the characteristics of sign of quietude. There, the sign of quietude is just the quietude by way of the composed manner, and in the sense of non-distraction, is the sign of non-confusion to be taken. Confusion is the state of mind which, because of the wheeling in the multiplicity of objects, is jumping from things to thing, diverse of aim and not one-pointed. Distraction is the same in character. Unsteadiness is its salient feature, and deviation is its manifestation. By one-pointedness of mind, confusion is thrown out. 11
Okay,
things.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So here actually is give a definition of this concentration. There are a few definitions here. First is the sign. Now, the Pali word nimitta is always translated like sign, like karma nimitta. All right. So sometimes also means the characteristic of sign. All right. So we can put as characteristic is so you have the quietness, quietude, and then the non-confusion. All right. And also here you can see the right reflection again. So we can get a few kind of like definition. So we have and non-confusion. There's a 1, 2 here. And then also composed manner. Now it's talking about here is the first stage of tranquility which arises when okay. So before samadhi, of course there must be passaddhi. All right. That's why the tranquility passaddhi come earlier. So after the passaddhi, now then you will come to this samadhi. Right. So the meaning of here is that the object must grasp in a way so the mind can bear it. Bear it means that the mind can remember it or can hold on it. Right. So there's one meaning here. Another one is composed manner. Another one also important here, non-distraction. Right. So how do you know you have samadhi? The mind is quiet, non-confusion, non-distraction. Another one, non-confusion. All right. Now how do you know the mind is non-confusion? Because normally our mind, if it does not have samadhi, it will be veering means it's going from one object to another object to another object, another object. Like normally your mind will be go for sight, go for sound, go for smell, go for thought. So your mind is moving around. Okay. So that's why it say confused. But if your mind should have samadhi, then it should not be going around to many objects. So it should be quiet, non-confusion. Oh, I already have this word. Not distracted to many objects. All right. Okay. Now here. Right. So the sign of here is the mind should be one-pointedness. So we see this word in Abhidhamma, one-pointedness. All right. One-pointedness is actually means that the mind just take one object, can focus on it. Okay, now 11 things here, right? So here is there are 11. So we read the commentary first. Okay, Sister Go, can you read this one?
Yeah.
Up to here, all right? Up to here. Yes.
Okay. 11 things lead to the arising of concentration. Purification of the basis. The imparting of evenness to the spiritual controlling faculties. Skill in taking up the sign of the object of meditation. The inciting of the mind and on occasion. the restraining of the mind on occasion, the gladdening of the mind on occasion, and the regarding of the mind without interfering on occasion, the avoiding of people who are not collected in mind, association with people who are collected in mind, reflection on the absorption and the emancipation, and the inclination towards the development of the enlightenment factor of concentration. Skill in the taking up of the sign, which is the cause for the arising of absorption, is skill in taking up the sign. The inciting of the mind on occasion is the applying of the mind vigorously by bringing into being the enlightenment factors of the investigation of mental objects, energy and joy, when there is excessive laxity of energy and of application of wisdom and a deficiency of delight in the meditation.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So the first one is purification of basis here, does not mention here. All right. So purification of basis, we see this before. See this one before in terms of purification, your own environment and your own body and so on. Okay, so this one we see before purification. The next one also not mentioned just now. So five, this is a spiritual controlling faculty, means we are talking about five, the Sada, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya, right? The confidence, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So we need to make them even. Even means a balance. Now, this one also skill in taking up the sign. Just now also didn't mention much, right? It's only mentioned this line. So means that actually, if you are meditating on one object, so you should be able to hold on the object or be able to contemplate it or be mindful of it evenly. Let's say if you are contemplate on the breathing, so you should know how, like long breath, short breath. Last time we also mentioned long breath, short breath, like and then when the breath is grows or not grows, you should be able to know it. Okay, now just now inciting. Inciting means just now you also mentioned that few way by effort. Okay, another one by wisdom. So means that make the mind more active in a way. Okay, here. So you need to have effort and joy, right? And also you need to have wisdom. Okay, and also joy. So means that make the mind so when the mind are considered as kind of like weak, so you should kind of like push it forward, right? Make it forward. But there are also another one when the mind is actually overthink, so you should restrain it. Okay. Restrain, what's the meaning of restrain it? Okay. So we will read this one. Okay, Vira? Yes.
Good evening, Saiji.
Okay, good evening. Yes.
The restraining of the mind refers to the checking of the mind that is becoming excessively energetic, too strong in the application of wisdom and elected with delight by bringing into being the enlightenment factors of calm, concentration, and equanimity. The gladdening of the mind means the enlivening with confidence of the mind becomes dissatisfied either through weak application of wisdom or the non-attainment of the bliss of restfulness or of the subsidence of the passions even temporarily. This enlivening is done through reflection on the 8 reasons for the upsurge of spiritual feeling, namely birth, decay, disease, death, the suffering of the 4 states of woe, the samsaric round of suffering in the past, and the suffering rooted in the search for nutriment in the present life, and through contemplation on the qualities of the triple gem. The regarding of the mind without interfering is the absence of the work of inciting, retraining, and gladdening the mind, which has got to right practice and which proceeds well in the object, free from sloth, free from restlessness, and free from dissatisfaction. It is comparable to the state of a charioteer who looks on uninterfering when the horses are going well. The keeping away from persons who have not reached partial or full absorption and are distracted of mind is the avoiding of people who are not collected in mind. Association with persons who have reached those states of absorption is association with people who are collected in mind. The mind inclining, sloping, and bending towards concentration production is all postures of standing, sitting, and the like constitutes the inclination for this factor. The completion by culture of the enlightenment factors of concentration is through the path of arahantship.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so we see this one, restraining means checking, all right? Okay, now that means that the mind gets so excited. So check the mind by this one, by the calm quality, all right? So calm, concentration, equanimity. All right. So you can see this is actually the 5th, 6th, 7. All right. All right. So just now you say calm, concentration, equanimity. So we can take it this one. So maybe we can put like this, right? So we can take this joy. We can take joy as an active also, right? Okay, so make all these are active type. And then we can take all this here will be kind of like calm type. Because the nature of pasadi, samadhi, upekha is more calm compared to this, right? So if the mind is very excited here, so we should check the mind, distract the mind by having more pasadi, samadhi, and upekha, right? So we can take in this way. It's how we interpret because all the commentator they have their own interpretation, right? Okay. Now, gladdening my mind. Gladdening my mind means they make their mind more excited, more happy here. So there are, just now you mentioned there are a few ways here already. Okay, about 8 reasons. Okay. Now, without interfering. Interfering means that don't be, or we just say the mind be neutrality. Make the mind neutral. Neutral means that don't incite the mind, don't distract the mind, and then don't gladdening the mind. All right. So don't interfere at all. So it's like what you just want to say. The simile here is very nice. So state of character, right? So for example, like when you drive on the highway, the car is moving on the good speed and then the road is very straight. So at that time, you don't need to press the gear. You don't need to increase any speed of the car. So you just hold on at the steering. So then your car very smooth. So it's like character who look on uninterfering when the horses are going well. So no need to put any extra effort, okay? And don't need to let go, just stay at that quiet moment, right? So that's the meaning of this one, right? Okay, and so on also, same. They always have this associate with the right people and not associate with the wrong people, okay? Avoid the people not right and associate with the right people who are have more samadhi. And then the rest are quite same. And also important, incline the mind. You know, when we say incline the mind, sometimes we thought it's not important, but incline the mind is kind of like pointing the mind in one direction. It's like also maintain, we call it your wish, your desire. Because sometimes if we don't maintain the mind, sometimes we forget our goal, your purpose of life or your spiritual goal. So we need to incline the mind to that direction. Okay, and next one, the upekha. Okay. Okay, I think we can skip. I will go for this one. Now, equanimity. All right, so it's interesting. Sister Wong, can you read this one? Up to here. Here. Okay.
Good evening, Sayaji and everybody.
Yes.
Equanimity. There are things which condition the enlightenment factor of equanimity. An abundance of right reflection on this is a reason that is conducive to the arising of the non-arising enlightenment factor of equanimity, and for the increase, expansion, and completion by culture of the enlightenment factor when it has risen. 5 things lead to the arising of the enlightenment factor of equanimity: the detached attitude towards beings, the detached attitude towards things, the avoiding of persons who are egoistical in regard to living beings and things, association with people who are neutral, impartial in regard to living beings and things, and the inclination for developing the enlightenment factor of equanimity. The detached attitude towards beings is brought about by reflection on beings as possessors of their own deeds, and by reflection in the highest sense. Reflection on beings as possessors of their own deeds is there when a person thinks thus: you have been born here by your own deeds in the past, and will depart from here and fare according to your own deeds. Who then is the being you are attached to? Reflection in the highest sense is thinking in the following way: really no living being exists. To whom then can you be attached? The attached attitude towards things is brought about by reflection on ownerlessness and temporariness.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Right.
Sayaji.
Okay. So 5 things. The first one, detached attitude towards being. Now, the detached attitude means it's just simply say we call it not attached, right? Not crave, not attached, right? Not cling in a way, so not cling to any beings, right? So the first way is beings as possessors of their own deeds. So what is this one? This is very simple. Like just now we say kamasaka. You know? So the Pali word is very simple, kamasaka. Things that beings come by their own, they go according to their karma. So if they do good or bad, they have to experience their own good or bad deeds. Now, another one just mentioned, reflection in the higher sense. So, what is this higher sense? So, it's called ultimate reality. Like we learned already in Abhidhamma, we call it the Paramata Dhamma. So, when you see things, you say, oh, this is Nama Rupa, right? So, it's 5 aggregates things about, just break. Like, at first, we see beings as beings, all right? But you still have to break them into like Nama Rupa, then the like 12 bases and so on. So that's how we see things in a higher sense. Go for zoom into the detail. All right. So at first, of course, we need to see beings as being as they have their own karma. But to go further, to have equanimity, you really need to let go of this clinging to them. All right. And try to see all the paramata dhamma. Now, another one towards things. Okay, so this is talking about beings, about how we see other people, how other beings. Now, another thing is how we see things, all right? Our own things, your handphone, your house, your car, and so on. What is this ownerlessness? Ownerlessness means that we think about anatta, right? I think this should be mentioned about the word anatta. And also temporariness. Temporariness means that we need to reflect, no matter how good is one car, one house, one handphone, they will last for a few years and they will have decay. They will decay. They will be broken up. So when we see things as just belong to us temporarily, then we can reduce our attachment towards them. And also we have to consider everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, so that's how we should have equanimity, things toward beings. That's one way, and towards things. So in many suttas, the Buddha also talk about beings and things. We still have to go to beings because we are surrounded by people, so we have to see, talk with them. So that's how our attitude towards them. But we also have our attitude towards things that even belong to us. We had to say that they are not really us because they all will be subject to decay and so on. Now, this one, avoiding a person who are egotistical. Now, what is this one? This one is just say some people who have strong attachment towards their self, right? Towards things. They are very egoistic. Egoistic means that they will say, oh, this my son, this one, but because of their craving, so if anything happen, they will have sadness, depressed, and so on. All right. So they are very strong attachment towards them. Okay. And the best way, of course, you learn from the environment, from the people who have reached certain level of insight meditation. So they are more neutral, impartial in their attitude towards living beings and things. Okay. So that's mean that we learn from them. And another one is a inclination for development. So we also need to incline the mind. So yeah. So here is very strange. Normally there will be association with people and disassociate people, but here is only association with people. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now we can read this one. Okay, okay, this one we read already. So this one, all right. So okay. Okay. Sister Sim? Yeah.
Okay, I try.
Okay.
A person thinks thus, this rope will fade, get old, become a foot, cleaning a rug, and be after that fit only to be taken up at the end of a stick and flung away. Surely, should there be an owner of this, he would not let it come to ruin in this way. This is the deflection on ownerlessness. To think that this rope cannot last long and that its duration is short is to reflect on the temporariness of it. These two deflections are applicable in a similar way to bound and to other things. Persons who are egoistical in regards to living beings are laymen who cherish their own sons and daughters and the like, and the clerks who cherish their residents' pupils, maids, preceptors, and the likes. And these persons, if, for instance, they are the clerks to do with their own hands for them, whom they cherish, hair cutting, sewing, robe washing, robe dyeing, bow lacquering, and so forth. If even for a short time, they do not see their cherished, once they look here and there likes bewilderness, dear, and ask, where is such and such novice? Or where is such and such a young bhikkhus? And if these the clerks are requested by others to send a novice or young bhikkhus to do some work for them, such as hair cutting, they don't send the novice or the young bhikkhus on the pretense that he is not made to do even his own work, and that if he is made to do the work of others, he would get tired. Person egoistically in this way should be avoided. A person who is egoistical is regard to things is he who cherishes ropes, bowls, breakers, walking sticks, staffs, and so forth, and does not let another even touch this. When asked for a loan of some articles, he should say, even I do not use it, how can I give it? Persons egoistical in this way too should be avoided. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you.
here is talking about in terms like monks or recluses, all right, Sam is also like lay people, right? First, get attached to their own properties. Then after that, get attached to the person around them, their own people staying around them, okay? And also this one, their own properties, right? So people who is neutral, a person with neutral indifference as regard both living beings and things, is a person who is detached as regard both living beings and things. The company of such a person should be sound, right? So this is important, right? So we have two things. First, to beings and to things. So we should cultivate the equanimity towards these two. And then it's finished. Then it start with the Pali. The same Pali will be this. Now this is the same Pali, iti ajatam damesu. So meditate internally, externally, and then try to see things liable to origination, vanish, and so on. And then the mindfulness is established, necessary for knowledge and mindfulness. Then meditate independent, not grasping at anything in the world. Right, so there's the finish, Bojjhanga. Okay, now we go for Satya. All right, before we go for Satya, any question? Okay, Satya actually is very short here. So here in this Bojjhanga is actually very interesting. The commentator, the means ancient Thera who write this one many years. Sometimes the commentator they will write this. Actually, sometimes it can be as early as the 1st century or 2nd century, so on, right? So they get the knowledge from their teacher. So they pass on the knowledge, and we get to know their knowledge through the books, to the Pali, to the English translation. So all these are very applicable in our life and in our spiritual practice. So you can see this information in the Visuddhimagga. You also can see this in the Sayadaw, what is it, Janaka Bhiwangsa. You know, there are many books written about this with same information because they are getting this from the same source, from the Atthagata. Okay. If no question, we go for Satya. All right. Satya actually very short. Now, before Satya, let's look at the Pali. Dhammanupassana. Mm. All right. Okay, katamancha pana bhikkhave bhikkhu dhamesu dhammanupasi viharati chatasu 4. Arya noble, sachesu 4 noble truth, right? Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu idam dukkham ti, right? This is suffering. Yada bhutam pajanati, truly understand, all right? Yada bhuta. Yada is as, bhuta is nature. So as nature. So understand the suffering as the nature or truly understand. Pajanati, understand, all right? Then origin of suffering, dukkha samudaya, right? Cessation of suffering, dukkha nirodha. And then the practice leading to cessation of suffering. So this Pali word, dukkha nirodha gamini patipata. So can copy the Pali. And then that's all. Then after that, start with the iti, ajatam, and so on, internal, external. So actually it's very short, only about few lines only. Okay, so there's the Pali. Dukkha samudaya, dukkha nirodha, dukkha nirodha gamini patipata. So dukkha is a dukkha, right? Samudaya is the origin. Sometimes we call it the cause of suffering. Then the third one is nirodha, cessation of suffering. So next one is the patipada. Patipada is the path leading, gamini is leading to the cessation of suffering. Okay, now the word dukkha, you can translate as suffering. Sometimes a better translation will be unsatisfactoriness, because sometimes we use the word suffering, it sounds very pessimistic. All right, so maybe we call it unsatisfactoriness, it will be a better translation. So there will be four. So we call it Ariya Satya, all right? Ariya, noble truth. Because there are many truths. Sometimes, like you say, I go to the market today, it's a truth, but it's not the noble truth. And in some of the sutta, there's many definitions for the word Arya, like it's preached by the Buddha, who is a noble person. And when somebody listen to these four noble truths, they become a Arya themselves. Okay, and this truth is actually a noble truth by itself. So there are a few definitions here, but just now the original Pali did not mention. It only mentioned about this one, and now we go for the commentary, right? Okay, just now you see this one. Idam dukkam ti yada buddham pajanati. Right. So this is actually very short. Amy, can you read this one? Yes.
The fourth truth. Having explained thus the contemplation of mental object by way of the seven factors of enlightenment, the master said, and further and so forth, in order to explain the meditation by way of the fourth truth. Itam dukanti yatam buddham panchanati. And Bhikkhu understand this is suffering according to reality. He puts aside craving and understands all things of the three planes of becoming as sufferings. According to nature, he understands, according to nature, the previous craving that produces and make to arise that very suffering. He understands the non-occurrence of both suffering and its origin. According to nature as Nibbana, he understands. According to nature, the noble path which penetrates suffering, abandons origination, and realizes cessation. The rest of the explanation of the noble truth is in the path of purity, Vishuddhi Mega.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
And he only mentioned this line actually very short because he already mentioned here. So sometimes the commentator they will point you to another book. So to read further, you have to go to the Visuddhimagga, right? So that's why last time I was doing the Visuddhimagga. So that's why we changed to this Sunday, and I focus more on meditation. Of course, now we need to go for certain texts like this. Later we will do our meditation, but we still, if you want, you can still refer to Visuddhimagga, right? Now we can see here. Right. So first one is suffering, right? Remember the first truth is dukkha, right? What is dukkha? So the statement is idam dukkha. So there's a suffering here. So dukkha means here it mentioned about three plan. Now three plan, that's why when we study Abhidhamma, you got advantage is kama vachara. The sense, then the rupa avachara, right? Then rupa vachara. So this means that the sensual world, then the fine material, the immaterial world. So this means that all the plants are suffering according to nature. So that's the meaning. Even if somebody born in the Rupa Vachara as a Brahma, one day the life existence day will be end. Even if he practice very high psychic power, he also will finish and come back again to the human world. And even if you have any arupa jhana, the life will finish soon. Right. Then the second one is this one. Okay. Now, we're talking about the second one is a cause of suffering. Right. Now, cause of suffering is craving. That's the reason. So cause of suffering is craving. So we talk about sometimes suffering means of three words, means that the five aggregates or nama rupa, or we call it the nama rupa, okay, of three words. So cause of suffering is craving, tanha, right? Burmese translation tanha. International word tanha, right? Okay. And the next one will be, that's why this commentator didn't mention only this line only. Now the next one will be cessation of suffering. Now here nibbana. So actually the last one is nibbana. The third one will be nibbana. But nibbana is mentioned as two ways. First, non-occurrence of both suffering origin. So nibbana is cessation of suffering and also cessation of cause of suffering. Okay, so there are two ways we define the word nibbana. Because when there's a cessation of suffering, there will be cessation of cause of suffering. Or when there's a cessation of cause of suffering, then the suffering will disappear also. So nibbana is non-occurrence of both suffering and its origin, right? And then the next one will be the ayam dukkha nirodha gamini patipata. So this is the noble path. Noble path means the noble eightfold path, right? So which now the characteristic of noble eightfold path will be first penetrates, right? The first one, understand the suffering, then abandon the origin of suffering, and realizing the cessation. All right. So normally when we say this one, according to Noble Eightfold Path, so the first truth, okay, to be penetrated. All right. Then the second truth is to be abandoned. So when you recite the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, you will see these kind of factors, the statement and what should you do, all right? And nibbana is to be realized, okay? And this one, of course, to be practiced. Okay, so there's a Four Noble Truth, and that's all. So, and followed by iti ajatam and so on. And then there are so here. All right. Now, okay, the conclusion, all right? So remember, most of the time when Buddha give any sutta, they will be good in the beginning, good in the middle, good at the end. So that's the characteristic of swakato, right? So the end, the Buddha say, what is the advantage of practicing this one, all right? Okay, so we invite the Rusha, right? Can you read the last one? For you to read the last one, this one. Are you around? Okay. He's maybe not around. Okay, if he's not around, then we ask other student. Brotherly? Okay. Okay, no. Then if no answer, yeah, Brotherly, can you read this one? Brotherly. Yes.
Yo hi kochi bikawe ime charato Satipaṭṭhāne evam bhaveya O bhikkhus. If anyone develops the four arousing of mindfulness in this manner, if any bhikkhus or bhikkhunis or upasaka or upasika cultivates mindfulness from the beginning according to the method taught here. Titatu bhikkhave O bhikkhus, let's alone the this together with what follows was said by way of average person capable of being trained. But concerning the person of keen intelligence, it was stated as follows. Instructed in the morning, he will attain in the evening. Instructed in the evening, he will attain in the morning. The Blessed One pointed out, the teaching thus, because my dispensation leads to deliverance in this way, close to the instructions that is crowned with the arahantship in 21 places and uttered the following words. This is the only way, O bhikkhus, for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrows and lamentations, for the destruction of suffering and grief, for reaching the right path, for the attainment of dhamana, namely the four arousing of mindfulness.
Okay, thank you, Brother Lee. All right.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank
this
you,
is the
Charlie.
one. Okay, thank you very much. Now, actually here it say if somebody practices seriously, even in the same day, if he practice in the morning, then he will attain the evening. If instructed means get the instruction in the evening, he will attain them in the next morning, right? And the end is actually this end actually we can see at the beginning of this discourse, right? So let's go for original text just now. Okay, now. Okay, now this we call it the after the Dhammanupassana finish, then the Buddha say this one if we practice for 7 years, there's a Buddha give a deadline here, a timeline here, 7 years. So he get enlightenment in this very lifetime, and it's something that left over. Leftover means if there's a defilement, little bit defilement left over, he get the third stage of enlightenment, anagamita, right? Let alone 7 years. Then he practiced for 5 years, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 7 months, and so on. 1 month, 1 fortnight, right? 7 days, right? Here he said even 7 days, if you practice the Satipaṭṭhāna, can attain enlightenment. And also here Anagami, if any defilement remaining, there will be third level enlightenment. So the end is actually, the end of this sutta is same like Ekayano Ayam Bhikkhave. So we see this sentence at the very beginning of this sutta. So it's like the Buddha made a conclusion, confirm. If somebody practice this one, will go for the purification of sentient beings, get past sorrow and crying, make the end of pain and sadness, discover the system. System is jnana. Nyaya is refer to the right path, right? Extinguishment means that the nibbana here, right? So at the end, and then the bhikkhu, they are satisfied abhinandum. They rejoice, abhinandum rejoice on what the Buddha said. And this is a Satipaṭṭhāna finish. Right, so you can find this sutta in many places. Like this is a Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number 10, in the first book, Mula Panasa. Panasa is 50, so first 50. After that, another first 50. So totally is 152. So 50, 50, 52, right? So you can find here, and also in many other sutta, in some other place, even like Samyutta Nikaya, you also can find this one. Okay, so actually the Arya Satya is not really mentioned a lot, but you can get from other texts, other sutta, and also Visuddhimagga. Okay, any question? Any question about this sutta? So we already finished here, the end already. Okay. So while you're thinking for a question to ask, so we just going to review from the beginning, all right? All right. So at first, okay. Now, Like the first in Kayanupasana, the sentence like the body in the body. Sometimes you also the feeling in the feeling, the mind in the mind. All right. So we already see this statement. When you say the body in the body, you should not confuse with other body, not confused with feeling, consciousness, and mental objects. Right. And also feeling in a feeling, you just not your own feeling, not confused with other people feeling, and so on. Now, Chitanupasana, we already see, all right, which we can practice. So actually, with so many Satipaṭṭhāna, so this is the one that is easier because you can practice anytime, any posture, just contemplate on your mind. All right. So there are 16 types of mind. So when your mind have greed, without greed, you should know. And the commentary, they also explain the Abhidhamma point. Okay. And then with hatred or without hatred, with delusion or without delusion, when the mind is constricted, shrunken due to sloth and torpor, when the mind is scattered due to agitation, and when the mind is on the jhana, right, and the mind is with samadhi or without samadhi, free or not free, right? And then Dhammanupassana will be, the first one will be hindrances, which is actually important for all meditators because when they start to meditate or in the middle meditation, hindrances will come. So the definition of a hindrances, the origination of hindrances, and then the suggested methods about how to overcome it is mentioned in the commentary. Okay, so it's a very nice to get information from the text here, right? And after that, there will be about 5 aggregates, right? About aggregates will be such is the lupa, arising of lupa, disappearance of lupa. So you notice that in this sutta is also mentioned many times that you should know the Dhamma and you should know how it arises, how it disappear. It's very important. Not just when it arises, you know, but you don't know how to make it disappear, right? We should know it. Okay. And then the sixth sense basis and then internal, external, and the factors and so on. So the factor is samyojana. So I already mentioned, I think 2 weeks ago, what is a samyojana? According to Abhidhamma and Sutanta, there's a sensual lust, anger, conceit, and so on, wrong view, doubts, and so on. So these things actually, when you study Abhidhamma, you will study Abhidhamma sooner or later about this point, which is actually easier than Patana. Patana is quite tough actually. All right. And always have the word right reflection, right? And after that, we have the 7 bojjhanga, all right? So 7 bojjhanga, if we look at it, always remember 7 bojjhanga, we can divide to 2 parts. What is the cause? What's the effect, right? So actually, when we see the first 3 should be the cause, right? Sati, Panya, Virya should be the cause. But the active one will be Sati, Panya, Virya, and Piti. They are more active in nature because Piti is kind of like active nature. And Pasadi, tranquility, concentration, and Upekkha are more quiet in nature. So if your mind is too active, then you should improve your Pasadi, Samadhi, Upekkha. If your mind is too lazy, then you should increase your mindfulness, wisdom, and so on. So we should balance accordingly. All right. But of course, then we need to know what is cause and effect. You know, normally they will say even you can put the cause, the PT can be divided as a cause also. But I would say PT is much more towards the effect. All right, it's not really cause because when we see the jhana factors, PT will come later when you have vitaka and vichara. Okay, but all these are just different category and how we classify. As long as we know how to make the things works, this is a more important things. All right. Okay, so any questions?
Sayaji, this is Thomas.
Yes.
What is the meaning of the way of the Arahant in 21 places?
Wait, you mean the text just now, is it?
It was on the 4th Noble Truth on the Pali text.
20, let me see. Oh, this one, right?
Yes.
There is instruction that is crowned with Arahanship in 21 places. This one, I think maybe we have to refer to the, let me see if I can open the, this is the Mula Pali. Okay. So Thomas, next time you should learn the Pali also. So this is the Mula Pali. Okay. Let me see if we can find, because I think the Sutta number 14. Yeah, let me do a search. So this one. Okay, this is the commentary. So let me look at it first. Okay, you can see the Pali is a lot. Okay, let me try go for N. Okay, now it's on the Dhatu. Right, now this is the one. Okay, so Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma, Khanda, Papa. Okay. That's the reason why I learned the Pali. So because then I can access the information easily. Chitta, oh, this one, all right? This one, okay? Even this one. This is the one. So I will check the sub commentary, because sometimes if the sub commentary can give the extra information. Let me see. This is a sub commentary. This is a Tika, is a sub commentary. So this is a Majjhima Nikaya, Mula Panyasa. The sub commentary, I don't think mention anything. Anyway, if I find, I will tell you, Thomas. Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you,
right.
Saji. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it didn't mention anything. Okay, so we look at the text again. Crossing we count in 21 places. All right. Okay, I will check for it, and if I get the information, I'll tell you. All right. Okay. Beside this question, what is other questions? Anybody got any other questions? This is Bali. How about the call? This one. Yeah, the Tanisu Anaga Nikuda. Okay. All right. If no question, we will stop here. Okay. Thank you for joining this class. I also enjoy go through the commentary, because actually I learned last time when I read the sutta, I will read different sutta and also different teacher, different sayadaw, they give explanation. So I noticed that they always have similar information. I thought they're coming from Visuddhimagga, but now I find out actually Visuddhimagga actually get the information from other Atthakatha. All right, so it's good to refer to the Pali text where we can get the source, and also interesting to learn from the ancient teacher. So we will share the merits. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen? Can
Sanji cannot see the screen. Cannot
Okay.
see.
All right. So all right, before I finish with this, so I find that actually it's important for us to check our mind, because sometimes when we are doing this spiritual practice, sometimes our mind can be down. Down is not in a way of depressed, but it's kind of like we call it loss of the goal or loss of sense of direction. What should we do or what should we not do? Or how should we improve our like faith, mindfulness, concentration? Or sometimes we are disturbed by our family issues or by other issues, or like us. I don't have much family issue because my family is okay. But sometimes I also kind of like busy with things. And now I finish all my possible study. I just need to wait for the teacher to check my paper and call me for the defense of the thesis. So now I kind of like sometimes I will feel that I also kind of like lost, not to say lost, but I feel that my mind is actually kind of like very little bit boredom. So that's why Chitta Nupassana is important. It's like we need to always check our mind. Check our mind is to see, get to know our sense of direction, and also important for us always just reflect again why we learn the Dhamma in the first place. When we learn the Dhamma, is it because of other people or is it because of us? And when we learn the Dhamma, what is the things that we really want to get from the Dhamma? Okay, it's important to always check the first motivation. Why we pick up the Dhamma book, or why you want to learn Pali, or why you want to learn Abhidhamma, or why you want to learn meditation. And after that, also good to always talk with people about your feeling. Like now I feel kind of like too relaxed in a way I would say, because I already finished a lot of things. You see, I already opened a center in Yangon. I already have done a lot of study in Bali. I already start teaching the Bali Abhidhamma. I also do meditation retreat in Malaysia and also here. So my mind is kind of like too relaxed, I will find it. So I talked with Sayaji Agawati and asked her my state of mind, and she just give me advice. Okay, since my center require people, we need help here, so I'm the only one. Most of the time I stay here, so I will spend more time helping the center plant more trees and do cleaning. So that I mean to say that sometimes when we practice spiritual life, our mind can go down. So it's very important for us to check and discuss with people. That's why you say associate with the right people is very important. Okay, so we don't get lost in the middle. All right, so to join me in the sharing of merits. So we will combine. Sorry?
Saiji,
Yes.
Rania, I was
Mm.
stating, could it the answer from the question from Brother Thomas
Yeah.
regarding 21 place, is it related to all the contemplation of this one kaya feel
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes.
and Dharma add together 21 places.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Yes. That's a number sense. Yeah, 21. Right. Do you get 21? Yes. Right. Yes. So the kaya is how many? 9, right?
Kaya
It's
breathing,
9. Kaya
posture,
is 9. Yeah. Kaya I think is 9. Feeling is 1. Chitta is a 16. But Dhamma is 5. Dhamma is 5. Okay. All right. Anyway, we go through the numbers later. Yeah. Or some of the time when I get to know them. Okay, so join me in the sharing of merit. So let us compose the mind. So I actually happy you all managed to join this class. All right. So now we have done a few sessions of actually we're supposed to meditate, but I think it's no time, it's 1.5 hours. So we just finished with sharing of merits. So may our good deeds of listening to Dhamma, and for me teaching the Dhamma, sharing with you all. So let us share our merits with all beings and our departed ones. So please follow me, chant the Pali. So etawata cha amhehi sampadam punya sampadam sabe dewa numodantu sabba sampadi siddhya etawata cha amhehi sampadam punya sampadam sabe buddha numodantu sabba sampadi siddhya Etawata cha amhehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampadi sitiya idam me yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idam me yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idam me yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. So we ask forgiveness from the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam achayam kamame pante puri panya tathagata. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam achayam kamame dhamma santitika akalika. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katam achayam kamame sangha punya kita anutara. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo sattan samagamo hotu yavani bana patiya. Idam me punyam ashawakayam waham hotu. Idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu. Mama punya bagam sabba satanam bhajemi. Te sape me samam punya bagam labantu. By this meritorious aid, may I never meet with the foolish. May I only meet with the wise up until I attain Nibbana. May this merit of mine be conducive to the destruction of the taints. May this merit of mine be a supportive condition for the realization of Nibbana. I share my merits done today with all beings. May all those beings get an equal share of merits shared by me. Let us say Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Buddha Sasanam Chiram Titatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. All right. So yeah, Thomas maybe is the one that mentioned by Vira just now.